My name is Alara. I was born in a quiet village where the days passed gently, marked by the rhythm of nature and the steady hum of daily life. I was a simple weaver, living quietly by a forest stream, my days marked by the loom and the seasons. The sound of water and the whisper of wind through the trees were my constant companions, and I found comfort in the simple repetition of weaving thread by thread. I never sought adventure, but one winter a fever gripped me, draining my strength and clarity. The healer's remedies failed. My world shrank to the dim light of my room, the scent of herbs, and the distant voices of those I loved. My family gathered, their sorrow distant as I drifted between worlds. Their faces blurred at the edges, voices muffled by the haze of illness, yet I felt their love like a gentle weight on my heart. Pain faded into a profound stillness, as if I was sinking into tranquil waters. The struggle and fear ebbed away, replaced by a deep enveloping calm. My mother's cool hand was the last sensation before everything dissolved. Her touch, so familiar and grounding, lingered as the world slipped from my grasp. The world of wood smoke and weeping vanished. No dramatic end, just a quiet release. There was no fear, only a gentle letting go, as if I were exhaling my last breath into the night. I felt my essence pulled upward, like a thread drawn from a tapestry. It was as if I was being unspooled from the fabric of my old life, rising weightlessly into the unknown. With that release came peace. The fever, the pain, the worry, all gone. In their place was a clarity I had never known, a sense of being lighter than air. I was no longer Alara the Weaver, but a point of awareness, unburdened and free. My memories faded, but my sense of self remained, curious and open. The darkness was warm and welcoming, not empty or frightening. It felt like being wrapped in a soft blanket, safe and protected, as if the universe itself was holding me close. What I'd feared as an ending was a doorway, a transition, not a conclusion. I sensed possibilities beyond, waiting for me to step forward. My journey was just beginning, and I was stepping across a threshold I never knew existed. The unknown called to me, gentle and persistent, promising new wonders. The familiar world faded, replaced by a sense of infinite quiet. I felt suspended between what was and what could be, surrounded by possibility. I realized I was not alone in this passage. Other presences moved beside me, gentle and reassuring, as if guiding me onward. My story, I sensed, was only at its first step. The path ahead was shrouded in mist, but I moved forward, ready to discover what lay beyond the threshold. From stillness, a new awareness dawned, not with sight, but with a sense of movement through a dimensionless space. I drifted, carried by a gentle current, as darkness softened into luminous twilight. Around me, other presences appeared, shimmering lights, each a unique spark of consciousness. We didn't speak but shared a silent understanding. We were all travelers on the same journey. Time lost meaning, there was only serene, continuous motion forward. The twilight was filled with a resonant hum, the music of existence itself, calming all fear. I felt in tune with a grand, cosmic symphony. Gradually, a distant point of light appeared, growing brighter as we approached. This was no ordinary light, it pulsed with warmth and unconditional love. It called to me not with words but with a deep sense of homecoming. The others and I moved toward it, drawn by its promise. The journey felt both instantaneous and eternal. This was our destination. The twilight dissolved, melting into a gentle radiance that seemed to beckon me forward, as if the very air was alive with anticipation. I emerged into a meadow of breathtaking beauty, where every blade of grass shimmered with dew, and the wildflowers swayed in a silent, harmonious dance. I had form again, light and ethereal, standing on vibrant grass surrounded by glowing flowers that pulsed softly with their own inner light, as if welcoming me home. The light was everywhere, warm and golden, casting no shadows, filling every corner of the field with a sense of gentle embrace and infinite possibility. In the distance, hills and silvery trees shimmered, and a crystal river sparkled with its own light, winding through the landscape like a ribbon of pure joy. Other radiant beings moved through the fields, their presence both familiar and mysterious, communicating in silent thought and feeling, their laughter echoing like music on the breeze. I felt an overwhelming sense of connection and belonging, as if every soul here was part of a greater whole, united by something deeper than words. There was no sorrow or pain, only the blissful present, an eternal moment of peace where time itself seemed to pause, and every breath was filled with gratitude. Drawn to the river, I gazed into its depths and saw not my reflection but moments of pure happiness from my life. Laughter shared, kindness given, and love received. The river revealed the love I had given and received, each memory sparkling like a jewel in the water, reminding me of the true treasures I carried within. Here, you were defined not by your earthly form, but by the love in your heart, the kindness you had shown, and the joy you had shared with others. In this endless field of light, love was the only currency that mattered, and every act of compassion became a thread in the tapestry of this radiant world. I understood the true measure of a life. This was home, a place where the heart could finally rest, surrounded by endless light and the warmth of everlasting love. Before I could fully embrace the meadow's peace, my perspective shifted. The golden light dimmed and I was shown a vision of another realm, a vast, shadowy valley. The air was cold and heavy, the landscape barren and colorless. Dim, hunched figures wandered alone, each trapped in their own sorrow and regret. Their torment was not punishment, but the result of walls built around their hearts in life. The pain was the awareness of love rejected and light turned away from. This was not fiery torment but a deep, unending despair, separation from the source of all light. The vision was a lesson, not a threat. Our choices shape our destiny. Every act of unkindness adds a stone to the wall that separates us from the light. I understood the weight of compassion. The vision faded and I found myself in a silent chamber of reflection. My life was laid bare, not as a story, but as a tapestry woven from every thought, word, and deed. Threads of kindness glowed with golden light, forming the strongest, most beautiful patterns. I felt the joy I'd brought to others, and saw how small acts of compassion rippled outward. Darker threads, moments of impatience or anger, created knots and tangles. I felt the pain I'd caused, not as punishment, but as deep understanding. There was no judgment but my own heart, filled with perfect knowledge of my choices. Life's purpose was clear, to weave a tapestry of love, each choice a thread in the pattern. The sorrow of the valley was a tapestry woven with neglect. The joy of the meadow, one woven with gold. I saw the true purpose of living. As my life review ended, I felt a gentle pull back toward the world I'd left. The choice wasn't mine. A sense of unfinished purpose settled over me. The light of the meadow faded, but its peace and knowledge remained with me. I traveled back through the twilight, now on a solitary path. The feeling was not sadness, but mission. I was being returned for a reason. The darkness thickened as I neared the physical world. I felt the weight of my body, the ache of illness, the return of earthly sensation. The transition was jarring but not painful. Familiar sounds grew louder, the whispers of my family, the crackle of the fire. With a sudden gasp, I was back, lungs burning, blankets heavy, pain lingering. My mother's eyes widened in disbelief. I had returned from the great river, sent back to the living. My journey was not over. My recovery was slow, each day unfolding gently, but my spirit had changed forever. The experience I had endured left a mark deeper than any scar, reshaping the way I saw myself and the world around me. The world looked the same, yet everything felt different. I saw it with new eyes. Colors seemed brighter, sounds rang sweeter, and the faces of those I loved became infinitely more precious. Even the smallest details, like the dew on grass or the laughter of children, felt like miracles. The fear of death was gone. I knew what lay beyond, and there was only peace. That knowledge brought a calmness to my days, a gentle assurance that nothing truly ends, and that love is never lost. I never spoke in detail of my journey. The words were too small for its beauty. Some things are meant to be felt, not explained, and my heart held those memories close. Instead, I lived the lessons, choosing to weave with intention, letting every action reflect the wisdom I had gained. I poured kindness into every thread of my days, offering help, comfort, and understanding wherever I could. My life became a quiet prayer of gratitude, a silent thank you for every sunrise and every gentle moment. I listened more, judged less, and saw every person as a fellow soul on a sacred journey. Each conversation became a chance to connect, to understand, and to share in the beauty of being alive. The memory of the shadowed valley reminded me to choose compassion and keep my heart open, even when life felt uncertain or difficult. My life was now about contributing to the great pattern of light, adding my own threads of hope and love to the tapestry of the world. The truth I learned was simple. Life is a precious chance to create love, to nurture it, and to let it grow in the hearts of others. We are all connected, and our choices matter more than we know. Every act of kindness, every moment of understanding, ripples outward, touching lives in ways we may never see. The light we create here is the light that welcomes us home, guiding us and those we love through every darkness. If this story touched you, please subscribe and share. Let's weave more light together and remind each other that every soul matters in this beautiful, ever-unfolding tapestry of life.